Aaliyah Brooks clutched her backpack strap and stared at the departures board like it might change its mind. 17 honor roll. Scholarship kids still wearing the same thrift store hoodie she'd flown in on for college visits. The airport smelled like coffee and rushing strangers. She checked her phone. Gate B12, boarding in 25. Her hands shook, not from fear of flying, but from the weight of what this trip meant. One interview that could change her whole life. At the counter, Aaliyah handed over her boarding pass. The agent scanned it, then paused. "You're in, Tua." Aaliyah nodded. "Yes, ma'am." The agent's eyes flicked to Aaliyah's hoodie, then to the seat number again, like the paper was lying. "Who bought this ticket?" she asked, casual but sharp. Aaliyah swallowed. "My school sponsor did, for the scholarship interview." The agent forced a smile. "All right, just wait over there." Near the gate, a businessman rolled his suitcase close and looked Aaliyah up and down. "First class?" he muttered, loud enough. Aaliyah pretended not to hear. She opened her folder resume, recommendation letters, a printed email from the university. Her heart thumped with every boarding announcement. Across the room, a flight attendant approached the gate desk, whispering with the agent while glancing at Aaliyah, like she was a problem that needed removing before takeoff. "First-class passengers may board." Aaliyah stood immediately, eager to disappear into her seat. She walked toward the scanner with a quiet good morning. The beep sounded, green light. Relief. She stepped forward until the flight attendant blocked her path with an arm. "Hold on," the attendant said, voice too loud. "We need to verify something." Aaliyah froze. Behind her, people in line leaned in, suddenly interested. The attendant's eyes were cold. "Step to the side, please." The attendant, name tag reading Kendra, lowered her voice, but not her attitude. "You don't match the profile for this cabin," she said. Aaliyah blinked, confused. "What profile?" Kendra pointed at the seat number. 2A is expensive. This is a premium cabin. Aaliyah's face heated. "I have a ticket." Kendra crossed her arms. "Tickets can be stolen, or printed, or borrowed." Aaliyah's throat tightened. "Are you accusing me?" Kendra's smile was thin. "I'm protecting passengers." Aaliyah pulled out her ID. "Here." Kendra barely glanced. "And the card used." Aaliyah's voice trembled. "It wasn't my card. It was my school." Kendra's eyebrows lifted like that proved guilt. Convenient. The gate agent typed rapidly, whispering, "It's valid." Kendra didn't care. She looked Aaliyah in the eyes. "Do you have any adults traveling with you?" Is that word adults hit like a slap? Aaliyah stood taller. 17, not 5. The line behind Aaliyah grew louder. "Can we go?" someone groaned. Aaliyah turned, seeing faces watching her like a show. A woman in pearls whispered, "Probably a mix-up." A man snorted, "Sure." Aaliyah's eyes stung, but she refused to cry. Kendra spoke to the agent again. "Call security," she said, like ordering water. The agent hesitated. "Kendra, the ticket is valid." Kendra cut her off. "Call now." The words hung in the air, heavy and ugly. 2 airport security officers approached, hands near their radios. The gate fell quiet. One officer asked, "What's the issue?" Kendra gestured at Aaliyah. "Unverified passenger. Possible fraudulent boarding." Aaliyah's stomach dropped. "That's not true," she said quickly. "I have my documents, my scholarship interview." The officer held up a hand. "Ma'am, please calm down, ma'am." Like she was grown enough for blame but not respect. Aaliyah's voice broke. "I didn't do anything." Aaliyah shoved her folder forward, hand shaking. "Look, this is my interview letter. This is the sponsor email. This is my ID." Papers fluttered as if even they were nervous. Kendra glanced for half a second, then dismissed it. "Anyone can print that." Aaliyah stared at her, disbelief turning into anger. "Why are you doing this?" Kendra's eyes flashed. "Because I've seen scams before," Aaliyah whispered. "You mean you've seen me before?" The words were soft, but they landed like thunder. The older security officer looked from Aaliyah to the boarding pass and back. He spoke gently. "We can step aside and verify." Aaliyah nodded fast. "Yes, verify, please." Kendra added and remove her from the boarding area. Aaliyah's head snapped up. "Remove me. My flight is boarding." The officer sighed. "We'll be quick." But the jet bridge door began to close. Aaliyah watched passengers disappear onto the plane while she stood trapped at the gate, like she was invisible and spotlighted at the same time. Aaliyah's fingers fumbled for her phone. She hated asking for help. She hated sounding weak. But her interview, her future slipping away, she dialed the number in her email signature. "Hello, this is Aaliyah Brooks," she said, voice cracking. "I'm at the airport. They're calling security on me." A pause. Then a calm voice answered, controlled and serious. "Aaliyah, listen to me. Don't argue. Don't move. Put me on speaker." Aaliyah did, heart hammering. Kendra leaned closer, noticing the call. "Who are you calling?" Aaliyah held the phone up. "My sponsor." Kendra scoffed. "Right." She turned to the security officer. "She resists. Escort her out." Ali's eyes widened. "I'm not resisting." Kendra's voice rose. "Then cooperate." The crowd watched, some uncomfortable, others entertained. The gate agent looked sick, like she knew this was wrong but feared the uniform. Aaliyah's face burned with shame she didn't earn. A middle-aged black man in a navy jacket stepped forward from the boarding line. "Hey," he said, firm. "She has a valid ticket." "What's the real issue?" Kendra snapped. "Sir, mind your business." He didn't flinch. When you call security on a kid for existing, it becomes everybody's business. A few passengers murmured agreement. Kendra's jaw tightened. "Back up." The man looked at Aaliyah, softer now. "You okay?" Aaliyah nodded, blinking hard. "No," she whispered, "but I will be." The jet bridge door reopened slightly. A pilot in uniform appeared at the threshold, drawn by the commotion. Captain Evan Hayes scanned the gate like a storm cloud. "What's happening?" he asked. The agent stuttered. "Captain, it's a verification issue." Kendra spoke fast, eager. "Possible fraudulent boarding, sir. We called security." Captain Hayes' eyes landed on Aaliyah and stayed there, not judging, recognizing. His face tightened in a way that wasn't anger yet, but something close. "What's her name?" he asked quietly. "Aaliyah Brooks," the agent read from the screen. The captain repeated it under his breath, like it meant something. Aaliyah's phone speaker crackled. Sponsor voice said clearly, "This is Dr. Renee Caldwell, Scholarship Director. That student is under my program. Her seat was purchased by our foundation. If you delay her, you are interfering with an educational contract." Kendra laughed under her breath. "Sure." Captain Hayes stepped closer. "Dr. Caldwell?" he said into the phone. "Captain Hayes here. I'm listening." Kendra blinked, suddenly unsure. Captain Hayes turned to Kendra, voice low and lethal. "Why did you call security before checking your documents?" Kendra stiffened. "Protocol, sir." The captain's eyes narrowed. "Protocol is verification, not humiliation." Kendra tried to recover. She didn't look. She stopped herself too late. Silence cut through the gate. The captain's jaw flexed. "Didn't look like what?" Kendra's cheeks flushed. The older security officer looked down, uncomfortable. Leah's eyes watered, not from sadness, from the relief of someone finally naming the poison in the air. Captain Hayes straightened and faced the gate area. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, voice carrying, boarding is paused. Groans rose, then died when they heard his tone. "We will not depart until this passenger is treated with dignity." Kendra's eyes widened. "Captain," he cut her off. "No." He turned to security. "Officers, thank you. But she is not a threat. She is a student with a valid ticket." Then he looked at Aaliyah, gentler. "I'm sorry you were put through this." Aaliyah's lips trembled. "I just wanted to fly." Dana from Operations Badge, swinging, rushed up, breathless. "Captain, what's going on?" Kendra started talking fast, blaming the system, blaming the crowd, blaming everything but herself. Captain Hayes raised a hand. "Review the footage. And remove her from duty now." Dana's eyes flicked to Alia's shaking hands, then back to Kendra. "Understood." Kendra's face drained of color. "You can't," Dana replied. "Firm. I can, and I will." The gate agent exhaled like she'd been underwater. Aaliyah picked up her folder papers, wrinkled, but not ruined. Captain Hayes walked beside her down the jet bridge, not as a hero, but as a shield. Passengers stared as she boarded, some embarrassed, some impressed, some silently guilty. Aaliyah reached her first-class seat and hesitated, like she didn't trust the space anymore. Captain Hayes leaned in and spoke softly. You earned every inch of this moment. Aaliyah swallowed hard. I thought I was going to lose everything. He nodded. Not today. Once seated, Aaliyah heard the captain's voice on the intercom, steady, intentional. We apologize for the delay. We're committed to safe and respectful travel for every passenger. Leah stared at her hands, then at the window, breathing like she'd been running for miles. A flight attendant, different one, knelt beside her. I'm sorry, she whispered, offering water. Aaliyah nodded, tears finally falling, quiet and clean. She opened her interview folder again, smoothing the pages. Outside, the plane began to move. This time, she wasn't begging to belong. She was arriving.